Your renderings from Bricklink Studio look a bit lifeless? Then here's a solution. Just add some lights. Hello YouTube, this is CJTWOB coming to you directly from Bricklingen. Today we're going to let Lego bricks glow in the dark. This of course only works if you're building digitally in Bricklink Studio. We are basically modifying the configuration of Bricklink Studio to change the appearance of certain colors so that they glow in the dark. I will pick a few colors that you typically don't use so that later on in your models you can just assign this color. Whenever you do that, the brick will glow in the rendered image. To illustrate what I mean, I've prepared a small little project in Bricklink Studio. It basically just consists out of white bricks, a small lantern in the middle that's a translucent minifig head, a shade and a stand, and there's a white wall in the background that lets me show the reflection of the light from the lamp later on. I'll first render this one without any light effect, just use the normal lighting that the rendering engine lets you use. And this is the result you'll get, just white bricks. Okay, time to give some credits. I found the general idea for the mechanism how to let the bricks glow on a subreddit called Digital Lego, and it's a guy, well, actually I can't pronounce that name, but you'll have it on the screen right now. He gave me the basic idea how to do things, and the mechanism he proposed is what I'm using right now, and I'm going to show you right now how to do that. We need to modify one of the configuration files for Bricklink Studio. It's located in the Applications folder, Studio 2.0, Photorealistic Renderer, Mac, and then we're looking for the settings_v1.xml file. Make sure to create a copy of the file before we start modifying this one in text editor. I'm performing a search for glitter because I'm using one of the glitter colors that you don't use anyway when building your mocks to be replaced by one of the light colors. So it starts with the glitter groups. You can ignore all of this. What we're looking for is the material definitions in this file. They always start with an XML element called material, and then later on you find the name. In this case, we're looking for glitter transparent purple. That's the one we're going to modify. We're looking for everything in the element called shader. I'm currently marking that up, and basically all that can simply be deleted or it's replaced by the custom code that we now enter. Basically just a very few lines. It's defining the color of the light and it's defining the strength of the light source that we're now creating. In this case it's 500, which is pretty strong light, but we'll see later in the render what that means. Next step is save the file, and we're going to start rendering the image as a next step again. Okay, back in Studio now. All I need to do is I select the light bulb and assign my custom, the modified color to it. For this, I just go to the color palette, make sure to uncheck the hide unavailable colors option. I search for glitter because that's the one I modified. I assign glitter transparent purple, and I can now go to the rendering and try out what the light effect will be. The effect is a very bright light source in the building. This intensity of light is pretty useful when it comes to putting light bulbs inside a building because it will really make it look like someone's living in there. For lights located outside the building, this is probably a bit too much. So in the next step, I'm going to show you how to dim the light a bit for outside lanterns or anything else. Okay, back to the configuration file we modified earlier. I'll simply pick another color now and modify that as well, but with a lower light intensity. In this case, it's going to be glitter transparent clear color. Again, I'm going to remove everything in between the shader element, so delete all the text between the opening and the closing shader bracket, and replace it with a custom code that we used earlier. The only difference this time is that I'm adapting the strength of the light. I'm using 100 instead of 500 as I did earlier. This will make it a lot more dimmed light, very useful for street lanterns and stuff like that. Don't forget to save the file before we go back to rendering another image. Okay, back in Studio, you pretty well know the trick. We select the light bulb and we search for the glitter colors, and the one we modified is the glitter transparent clear. This didn't work out. Select the light bulb again, my mistake, and repeat the same steps. Glitter transparent clear is the dimmed light source. Let's just launch another render of that and see what the outcome is. The result is a light that is a lot less brighter than the one before, pretty well for outside lamps. I'm now going to show you what this would look in real life. I'm using one of my own creations, my own buildings, the modular music store that I released recently. As you can see, I used a black background so that it looks a bit nightish, and I added light bulbs to every story inside and also to the outside street lamps. Pretty simple so far, I think. And I also think you got the point. This is how it works. Not sure if every one of you remembers the Ninjago Lighthouse and Aquarium that I built, I don't know, like a year and a half ago. This one imposes another challenge because the whole Ninjago stuff doesn't work too well with just white lights. They need red lanterns everywhere. That's kind of a typical feature of the Ninjago stuff. So how do we do that? We're going back to the configuration file in the text editor. This time, again, I'm taking a new color, the glitter transparent dark pink. I'm removing everything in between the shader elements and I'm pasting in the custom code. The lower part, the emission element, hasn't changed much. I'm using a strength of 100, but there's two additional lines on top of that, the color elements. The important part is the second one. We're setting the RGB value to 0.88, which is equal to the value that the original Lego color dark red transparent has. So it's copied from there basically. You can find that in the same file in here. The 0.8 value, the 0.88 value here will make our light source red from now on. Save the file before we go for the rendering again. In Studio, you already know the trick. You select the light bulb and you apply the modified color, this time in glitter trans dark pink. Let's try out the rendering and see what the result will be. Not bad. We now have a dimmed red light that is kind of perfect for the Ninjago lanterns everywhere. And this is now what the Ninjago Lighthouse and Aquarium looks like if you light it up at night. You can see there's a mixture of the different light types we created earlier. We have the bright light for the lighthouse bulb, we have the dimmed light, but the white one, for the other lights in the aquarium, and we have the red lights on top of the aquarium, and of course for the Ninjago lanterns that are on the ground floor everywhere. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching my YouTube video, my very first video ever. If you liked what you saw, you can get the instructions for my buildings at Rebrickable, and of course, I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot and bye bye.